What's up, guys? Come to you. I want to talk to you about Justice League Odyssey. It finally came out. We've been waiting for this thing. It's supposed to come out, in August? And now at the very end of September, we finally get it. Been ready for it a while. So, a few things. So, first, we'll just take the cover. I'm not a huge fan of this cover. I liked it when I picked it up, but the longer I've looked at it, I haven't really cared for it. I like this dark side look a lot better than the other one. I'll show you the other cover in a minute. I do not care for this Starfire. Doesn't really look like Starfire in the face. Everything else about it's pretty cool, but she just doesn't look like a Starfire. I'm going to show you the other one, and I think why it's better. I don't like this Cyborg either. I don't think he really looks like Cyborg at all. And then, let's see, Jessica Cruz is okay. That's not a great Jessica Cruz, but it's not bad. Now, inside the comic is really good. The artwork is phenomenal. I'm going to show this. That's Starfire. That is amazing Starfire. This is a good Cyborg. I don't like his armor, but that's more of a personal thing. Cyborg is actually Cyborg again, which is awesome. Starfire. This is probably the sorry, that's Supergirl. This probably has the best Cyborg we've had in a long time, and the best Starfire we've had in a long time, and I love it. I love it. Azrael, I don't really care. I didn't know why they put him in here. They could have picked any character, and they chose Azrael. I was like, okay, alrighty. But before I jump into the issue itself, let's look at the other cover. So I had some issues with this. The main issue is that this does not look like Darkseid. This is a lot better Darkseid than this is. And I think I did a video before where I showed, let's see if I can't find it, the Mr. Miracle issue that's in here, where it shows Darkseid. So you have like a really great Darkseid and a really awful Darkseid. But look at this. This was in the promotions a few months back. That Starfire is amazing. She looks so good in that. And so does Cyborg and Jessica. They look excellent. So whoever did this cover, amazing. I wish I had gotten it, but oh well. I'm not sure, now that I think about it, I'm not even sure they used this cover. Because I saw this cover, and there was another one, and I don't think that, I think I ended up getting this one because it had a better dark side. But now I'm kind of like, man, I wish I'd gotten the other, because the artwork on this is just so good. Anyways, that's beside the point. That box. Okay. So, the issue itself. Now, I'm going to retract some of my comments about Darkseid. Mostly because I found out by reading it that it's not actually Darkseid. It's Darkseid's son. So, Darkseid Jr. He kind of says that in here. Let's see if I can find that. Just a really cool picture, and really cool panel. And he says, "Well, my father was Lord of Apocalypse and waged war with New Genesis." So his father, Darkseid. So not the regular Darkseid. It's Darkseid's son, I guess. It's my assumption from that. So I retract my statement. I can understand him looking a little bit different being the son of Darkseid. Although I didn't really know he had a son until this issue. But whatever. I don't really care. So I'm wondering if, it would make him an interesting twist with Darkseid. Like if every time he dies, he's reborn as a younger version of himself. And so that's where the baby Darkseid came into effect. And so this is just baby Darkseid growing up. I don't know. That's my guess. I have no idea. It would be pretty cool. That way, there's always a dark side. Like you just can't get rid of him. That's a beautiful way to like keep a really great villain. Of course, you can't do it with every villain, but you just have your villain eventually get reborn. And plot twist would be if he actually became a good guy one time in one of his iterations, and then died and became a villain again. That would be pretty interesting. Get on that, DC. Anyways, let's see here. So the artwork isn't my favorite in here, but I really love the way Starfire and Cyborg look. I mean, they are just excellent. She feels like Starfire again, which I feel like we've been missing for a long time. He feels like the old Cyborg, just much older, war-torn. Azrael's okay. I don't really care. I don't hate the character. I just don't particularly think he's great. Now, I was watching somebody, I forget who it was, and they were talking about, might have been I Love Comics. He was talking about how he felt like they were all like C-listers. I don't think you could call Starfire and Cyborg and Jessica Cruz a C-lister. So the way I guess I don't usually do like I usually just do A, B, and C's. I don't usually go to D, E, and F or whatever. So like C-listers, bottom of the barrel. Or I might just go like F-lister or D-lister. They're like so low. A Z-lister if I'm exaggerating, but they're not C-listers, I don't think. I think if you've been at the, I think the Titans have proven themselves to be B-listers, in my opinion. And I don't do it by power, because then Batman would be not an A-lister, and he's definitely an A-lister. I do it like by popularity. So like Green Arrow used to be probably a B or C-lister, probably more likely a B. He was never really an A until recent days, starting with Grell in the 80s, and then eventually we have the TV shows, the Justice League Unlimited, and then we had the Arrow TV show, and now he's an A-lister. It's that simple. That was it. It was that easy. Supergirl's probably now an A-lister. I'd say she's probably a B-lister before. But I don't think you'd call any of the I wouldn't call Jessica Cruz, Starfire, or Cyborg C-listers. I call them B-listers, which is fine. I don't need all my heroes to be A-listers. And so Azrael's a C-lister. If you're gonna go more than C, he might even be a D-lister. Somebody that I'd say I could ask the kids at work where I work if they knew who Starfire and Cyborg are, and they're gonna know, without really being big superhero fans. But they're not gonna know Azrael at all. They might not know Jessica Cruz just because she's so new, but she's been on the Justice League. She's had a co-host of her own series with Simon, and so this is a lot longer than I wanted to. I want to get into the comics. I ramble on sometimes, so sorry about that, guys, but that's just who I am sometimes. Anyway, so Jessica Cruz signs up. Well, first we get this little preview of the several of the Earths that are in this little zone, the Ghost Sector they're calling it. I think that's really interesting premise, and there's a bunch of Earths that were planets, bunch of planets that were released during No Justice. Can't get it out. And one of them happened to have a Green Lantern on it, which is really cool. And I guess she's fallen in love with one of the people. Her ring has apparently been completely destroyed. It's out of power. You kind of see her trying to escape and tell Oa, which is pretty cool. But she, I guess, dies. Spoiler alert. Sorry, I always do that. Anyway, so Jessica Cruz is out. She's patrolling the Ghost Sector. She volunteered, apparently. And it starts off with, her having a conversation with Simon, which I thought was really cool. You kind of, bookend the Green Lanterns book, which is about to end, and then open up to like now they're all separated. I don't know where Simon Bias is going to go. Like I really want him in a comic though. I'm really sad about that, but we're going to be missing Kyle Rayner. We're going to be missing Guy Gardner. We're going to be missing Kilowog. We're going to be missing Simon Bias. The only Green Lanterns we're going to get, John Stewart, who's in the Justice League, which has been okay. And we're going to get Jessica Cruz in this, which is awesome. So, and then Hal Jordan. And I'm glad we got all three of those because I love all three of those, but I want all of them. Like, I want all my heroes. Like, it's like having only a few of the Teen Titans. Sorry, when I say Teen Titans, I mean the 80s roster. So, it's like not having Wally West. Hint, hint, hint. If you haven't seen my Heroes in Crisis review, you can go. I'll link that at the end. It's like not having Wally West or Donna Troy or having Dick Grayson or Starfire or Cyborg or Beast Boy or Raven, not having one of those in a comic somewhere or on a team somewhere, you know, or Tim Drake, not having Tim Drake. Anyways, you know, having some of them, but I want all of them. Like, you know, I want my, and I thought the way they had done it was beautiful. They had Green Lanterns with Simon and Jessica, and they had Hal Jordan with all of the others, and I thought that worked really well. Now they're just going to one. Like, okay, can we get like a second Green Lanterns book with all the other ones? Like, give Hal his own thing. That's fine. Just give me some of the others. Like, let Simon run the Green Lantern Corps for a little while. That'd be interesting. You got what's his name? Or Kyle or Guy. That would be really crazy. Or Kilowog, and let Simon do a term on the Green Lantern Corps, and underneath the new leader, which should be Kilowog, or Kyle would be interesting. I don't know. Kyle's kind of a little bit of a weaker character in leadership-wise, but I'm sure he could rise to the occasion. Guy would be interesting. I think it would be probably a good way to evolve the character a little bit to give him leadership, because he's always been a jerk. I mean, he kind of led to some extent, I think, but you know, having so much responsibility of the entire Green Lantern Corps changes somebody. I mean, John Stewart is perfect for it, and he's a little bit different than he used to be. When you bear that responsibility, you know, the whole world rests on you. Anyways, this is really long, and I'm going off on lots of tangents, so sorry about that. Anyways, so they're all three of Azrael, Starfire, and Cyborg are flying into the ghost space, and Jessica Cruz tries to stop them. They're flying Brainiac's ship, which is kind of weird. You can kind of see them there, and she kind of flies in without thinking. Starfire rushes out to save her, which is awesome. So I think I Love Comics was saying that he thought it was weird that Jessica would do that, but I'm like, well, that's kind of her personality. She's very new to the game, doesn't always think things through. She's not as bad as Simon. Simon just runs headlong into things without thinking about it. She at least thinks more than he does, but yeah. Now he does make some good points about her really not arresting them, but I feel like that's just the Green Lanterns in general, so I'm not going to hold it against her. So they crash land on the planet. There's a lot of really cool moments between Cyborg and Starfire, which just really touches my heart, just having loved the characters, having seen them grow up from teenagers to now being adults, and you know, they're real good friends. They've been around together for a long time, and eventually Starfire will make her way over to Dick Grayson, and that'd be awesome. Anyways, and then suddenly Darkseid shows up, the son of Darkseid, and he saves them, sort of, and big plot twist at the end. We find out that Starfire, Cyborg, and Azrael have been led to these planets because they are old gods and they're being worshipped by the people of the planets, which I found super weird. And so Darkseid's like, oh, we're gonna finally bring a new age to the multiverse. I'm like, that is super weird. Like, I know at least for Cyborg and Starfire, like they're too young to be the old gods. And isn't Darkseid one of the ones who killed the old gods? Like, he's one of the new gods, so might not want to be around the killer of the old gods if you're an old god, I think. So, really weird, especially since Coriander, worships Zal. I think that's how you say her name, Zal. And so, like, she worships an old god. She's not an old god. So, I don't know. I thought that was really weird. And, so, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm interested about. So, I love it already. Like, the writing's really great. It's fun, lighthearted. I think it's really fun. And I just really enjoyed this issue. So, this is really long, but I wanted to get into real quick the sneak preview to the Green Lantern with what's his name, Morrison and Liam Sharp. So they've got a little preview back in here, which I mean I enjoyed. I thought it was really cool. The villains, at least in the first issue, are kind of weird. They're just monsters that he has to go beat. But you have a really cool moment with him with Hal and one of the other lanterns, which I thought was cool. But I don't know. It's just it's real down to earth, if that makes sense. I've been reading Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns, and it's so cosmic. And this is just a little shocking to just suddenly be like so down to earth and real small scale. You think like the Justice League fights these grand adventures way out in space, like they're fighting Darkseid and Brainiac and the Legion of Doom, like these massive threats. But Green Arrow, like he's fighting like these street villains, these street thugs. He's a lot more down to earth, and this kind of feels that's kind of what that felt like to me. Green Lantern is a huge cosmic player. And then, like, this new issue, he's just real down to earth. Like, it's this little town right over down the street that he's got to go save. And he's helping a Green Lantern who happens, I guess, to be on Earth. I'm not sure where he is really, but I'm guessing Earth. And so he has to help him. It's kind of real quaint. But I didn't hate it. I love Green Lanterns. Like I said in my other video, they're real high on my list. So if you haven't seen mine and Lewis's top 10 heroes, you can go check that out. I think that's gonna be it. Let me know what you thought of either of those. Of the Justice League Odyssey. Obviously, it took way too long for them to get this out. We had promotions for issue 2 and 3 before issue 1 came out, which is funny. But yeah, so let me know what you thought of Odyssey. Let me know what you thought of the preview if you saw them, and I will catch you next time. Peace.